This magnificent temple once stood in the lands of Jerusalem, built by King Solomon. But a terrible fate hung over it, one that even Solomon didn't know. In the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran, it's strange to imagine that once, a king rising from what is now Iran or Persia would save the Hebrew people from the long captivity of Babylon. This is the story of those days. Let's journey back to the year 612 BC, where we witness the mighty Assyrian Empire collapsing. In its place, Babylon rose to power under King Nabopolassar. It was his son, Nebuchadnezzar, who would make this empire feared and mighty, covering the lands of the Levant and Mesopotamia. In 605 BC, Nabopolassar died, and Nebuchadnezzar ascended to the throne of Babylon. The beginning of his reign was tumultuous, marked by failed attempts of conquest, including an unsuccessful invasion of Egypt, which led his vassals to doubt his capability as a king. At 601 BC, a revolt against him arose from the kingdom of Judah, who perceived Nebuchadnezzar as a weak ruler. The kingdom of Judah, a mighty people who stubbornly fought for their freedom, carved out a kingdom under Kings David and Solomon. However, over time, they fell into the hands of rising empires like Assyria and Egypt. After the fall of the Assyrian Empire, the Jews felt that they could reclaim the freedom of their kingdom once again. King Jehoiakim of Judah turned against Babylon and Nebuchadnezzar in 605 BC. In response, the Babylonians besieged the city of Jerusalem. During the ongoing siege, King Jehoiakim died, and his son Jeconiah became king. Eventually, Jerusalem was breached, and King Jeconiah was taken captive and sent to Babylon. In the aftermath, Jeconiah's uncle, Zedekiah, bribed the Babylonian king and assumed the throne of Judah. King Zedekiah was a cunning wolf who waited for the right opportunity to strike back. He allied with his neighboring kingdoms and sought assistance from the Egyptians to rebel against Nebuchadnezzar and stop giving tribute to Babylon. Enraged with fury, King Nebuchadnezzar took his army to siege and destroy Jerusalem. King Zedekiah prepared for a siege and fought bravely, but the Egyptian assistance he anticipated did not come. After 2.5 years of brutal siege, the Jewish resistance began to crumble. Eventually, the Babylonian army breached Jerusalem, and a terrible wrath fell upon it. The Temple of Jerusalem was desecrated and destroyed. Nebuchadnezzar's fury did not stop there. He captured King Zedekiah, blinded him, and took the Jews captive, sending them to Babylon. Once a thriving kingdom, Judah now lay barren, a roaming place for wolves and foxes. The Jews hated Nebuchadnezzar for his cruelty, calling him the destroyer of nations. A decade later, a king rose from what is now Iran or Persia, named Cyrus. He conquered the declining Babylon and released the Jews from their long captivity. He allowed the Jews to form a state under his kingdom, earning him the title of Messiah from the Jews.